Welcome back. President Biden making a surprise visit to Ukraine yesterday. The president announcing an additional $460 million in U.S. assistance while meeting with President Zelensky. The U.S. has committed $113 billion to Ukraine. A recent Associated Press poll finds that Americans are losing interest in sending money to Ukraine. Last month, 37% said that they support it, while in May of last year, 44% said that they support sending government funding directly to Ukraine. Joining me right now is Florida Congressman, member of the Armed Services and Foreign Affairs Committee, and an Army combat veteran, Cory Mills. Great to see you, Congressman. Thanks very much for being here this morning.
Thank you so much, Maria.
So what is the thinking here? Is the $113 billion commitment to Ukraine the total commitment, or are we talking about additional monies? Now the president is talking about this latest $450 or $460 million to Ukraine.
Well, that's kind of the problem, is that President Biden and his administration has no actual objective. They've not laid out any strategy that tells us exactly where we're going and how we're going to actually thwart these enemy aggressors. And so it continues to be this frivolous, repetitive, okay, another $20 billion, another $30 billion, another $480 million. We're now at $113 billion allocated, of which we've got about $30 billion that's actually been put onto the ground there. They don't have a devised strategy, in my opinion. And meanwhile, you've got open southern borders, you've got fentanyl crisis, you've got the situation in Ohio with regards to the chemical spill that is now poisoning the waterways. And instead of actually prioritizing and looking at what we need here at home, he has an unlimited and unbalanced checkbook that keeps going over to a foreign nation.
Yeah, why is that? I mean, it took 2 weeks for FEMA to actually, come up with assistance for Ohio. And the fish are dead, the pets are sick, people are worried that they have headaches and rashes because of the chemicals in the air or in the water. It took FEMA a long time to actually designate this an area that is eligible for any government money.
Well, maybe if the mayor goes ahead and changes his city name to East Kiev, he'll actually get immediate funding by the Biden administration. Seems that's the way to do it. We're continuing to try and talk about the ideas that we're not even getting 100% audits on the money that's being allocated. That's something that myself, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congressman Matt Gaetz, as well as from many others, is trying to get. We need transparency to the American people. We talk about inflation. We talk about the Fed rates hiking. We talk about the idea of, consumer good costs going up. We talk about the issues at our southern borders. These are actual issues here at home that we need to be facing. And no, I'm not saying that we can't walk and chew gum. But what I am saying is that there seems to be an unlimited amount of money that we're willing to dump as the Biden administration into Ukraine that needs to be prioritized here at home.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what a message China is sending the United States, Congressman. I mean, first, I could say first COVID-19 and the cover up there, but then the surveillance tool, surveilling Americans and hovering around our military installations. No apology whatsoever. We're supposed to be on our heels about it. And now China's top diplomat has traveled to Russia. He's traveling to Russia this week as Beijing may supply Russia with weapons. Our Department of Defense seems to be worried about woke priorities, tweeting this, quote, "Diversity is a strategic imperative, critical to mission readiness and accomplishment." Congressman, you're a veteran. You have fought hard for this great country. What are your thoughts on what's going on at the Department of Defense as China continues to slap America in the face, now supporting Russia?
Well, look, at the end of the day, we know weakness invites aggression, and that's exactly what this administration has done. With regards to diversity or inclusion or the equity ideas, I challenge every person in the Biden administration to go visit Arlington Cemetery. Go walk through those rows and rows of headstones. Tell me how they're laid out. Is it by gender? Is it by race? Is it by what kind of color of your skin it is? No, it's not. And so we all bled green in the military, and that's something that I understood. I spent over 7 years of my life in Iraq. I've spent over 3 years in Afghanistan, Kosovo. I've been blown up twice in 2006, was a Bronze Star recipient. This idea that we're worried about pronouns and critical race theory and diversity inclusion as opposed to increased lethality and readiness is a complete joke. Maria, we have 25,000 shortage in our recruitment strategy, morale at an all-time low. And as you talked about, China has continued to ramp up their aggression. The China, Russia, Iran, North Korea geopolitical alignment, this act of evil, is advancing their goals, which is the Road and Belt Initiative. Chairman Xi is expanding the Eurasian border. He is taking Africa, Oceania. He is going to cut off Western Hemisphere supply chain. Russia's got the Iron Curtain going up with the Chavez in Venezuela, Pedro in Colombia, Honduras, fentanyl right there in the Darien Gap to poison Americans. And meanwhile, their goal is to eliminate the U.S. dollar from being the global currency. And the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go after the petrodollar to either supplement or remove. So this is an economic resource cyber warfare that has been launched against America. And America has a choice right now. We can either defeat China economically or we can face them militarily later. What we want to do is to prevent the military buildup. We want to look at the fact that China is the aggressor. They are the greatest existential threat. They are not an ally to America. We need energy dominance and to rid ourselves of adversarial nations like Russia and China economically.
And you don't hear any of this from President Biden, that's for sure. He doesn't even bring up the origins of COVID-19 to Xi Jinping. Congressman, thank you for your service to this country, and we are grateful to you for sure. And, you know, Pete Buttigieg is tweeting about race on construction sites when people are dying in Ohio and worried about their health. Cory Mills, thanks very much for being here this morning. We'll keep a spotlight on all of that.
Thank you so much, Maria. Thanks for having me.
All right. We will see you soon.